Welcome to Arabesque, the show that will bring you up and close to the most intriguing events coming from the Middle East and North African communities right here in Little London town. We have come to the quaint bookshop, The Green Bookshop, celebrating award-winning author Leilah Nadir's latest release book, The Orange Trees of Baghdad.
I grew up mostly as a child in England, and at that time in the 70s, Iraq was open, and my family used to come and visit in the summers, and they would travel in a Volkswagen Bug, and they would drive for like 2 weeks across Europe and come and visit us. It was a wonderful experience, and I feel like it set me up for a lifetime of being open to diverse cultures and diverse peoples. I always wanted to be a writer, and I never thought that this would be my first book. I've written fiction and stories, and I was sort of not particularly, I'm quite young to write a memoir, I didn't think about that. But it was the invasion of Iraq that sparked this journey of discovery, a deeper discovery of my Iraqi heritage, and at the same time, this really deep desire to tell the stories of Iraqis to Westerners and kind of record that perspective, because I felt that it really wasn't being shown at the time of the invasion and leading up to it. I hope that the book is more of a microcosm of the whole country, of what it has suffered in the last 3 decades. The book came out originally in Canada in 2007, and my son was born the next month, so I have 2 young children, so it hasn't been possible. I just felt that the story wasn't anywhere. I was looking for books about Iraqis as the war started, and even before that, but especially at that time, literature, novels, poetry, history, anything, and there was just nothing there. And I thought, well, if someone like me who is Iraqi still wants this and still wants to be able to discover more, what about people who know nothing and who don't have Iraqis in their family? How are they ever going to connect with this supposedly exotic alien culture that we're now going to war with? So it just felt important. It just felt like no one else is doing it, and I have a way to do it. And I didn't even necessarily feel that I was the right person to do it, but I kind of took upon myself that challenge, and I'm very happy that it came to fruition as a book.
It's a family story, it's real human emotions and real family connections that I think permeates through to anybody. You can see the type of relationships that you have with your own family, and you learn something along the way as well.
I think it's a terrific book, and I think it's a very moving, kind of powerful book, and gives a kind of human story behind a complex series of events.
I think books like that make it a real place with real people. It's really important, because then you remember it's not just something you see in the news. These are families that have been torn apart, and they're still torn apart to this day. And she still hasn't been able to go to Iraq 7 years later, because it's still too dangerous for her to go there. So I think definitely is very important, like in England as well.
What kind of a picture of Iraq do you get from this book?
Somewhere where people eat a lot.
Yes, I've read it, and I was in tears most of the time. I'm very proud of her to see her reading the book with so many people coming here. I'm really, really proud of her. It's amazing, it's really, really amazing. I still don't know how did she manage to put all this emotion in a book without, as you say, setting foot in Iraq. I've never thought that we had such influence, or that like a little girl, she would notice these differences, the food, the language, the different culture. I didn't realize she noticed these differences.
I feel Iraq in my bones, though I have never been there. I have never lazed in the shade of the date palm on a stifling hot day, or underneath the grape leaves hanging on the vine in the evening. I haven't smelled jasmine or orange blossom scenting a Baghdad night, and I've never tasted mango pickle with maskouf, the specialty fish dish of Baghdad, at an open-air restaurant on the banks of the Tigris. My father, Ibrahim, has done none of these things either since he left Iraq at age 16 in 1960 to go to college in England. Around the world, there are approximately 5 million exiles from a country of 25 million, and about 1 in 5 Iraqis don't live in Iraq. Most of them, like my father, are afraid to go back, even in peacetime. So we never have. Yet the garden still exists, my father's childhood house still stands. The orange trees are still there. I still do hope that I'll go back one day, and see it for myself. And that will be a whole different experience for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming along and meeting this inspiring author. I hope you've had as good a time as we have. Join us next week as we rummage the streets of London to find you more of these lovely cultural events around London town.